Everyone, it is time for a new video, and today we're doing a 24-hour readathon. This time is going to be a little different. It's going to be something I've never done before, and that is I'm actually going to vlog myself reading for 24 hours. So to explain further, I got this idea entirely from Erin from Booked and Busy. I'm gonna have her video where she did this and her channel linked down below. She's wonderful. You should definitely check that out and subscribe to her. So what she did in that video is that she actually set a timer for 24 hours. She only started that time whenever she was actively reading. And so we'll see how much I can read when I actually read for 24 hours straight. So I'm not sure. I do want to try to do this for, the next 2 or 3 days. We'll see, because I am going to be a little bit busy. So let's talk about the books that I'm doing this for. So I got an order of books last week. I don't know if you'll have seen it. Probably you'll have seen the books before, because I got some packages and I unboxed them in other videos. If you know me, you know that I suck at reading physical books. But 2 of these books I'm 100% sure I'm going to be reading, and the rest I'm really sure I'm going to be reading. So the first one I have here is Starfish by Lisa Phipps. This is a book written in verse, and it has positive fat representation, and just that's basically all that I know about it. I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about it, but it's a new release, and I love books written in verse. I want to read more books with positive fat representation, and so I'm just so excited for this. I'm absolutely going to be reading this. I think I'm actually going to start with this one. Then the other book I'm absolutely sure about that I'm also dying to read is The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. When I got this book, I nearly fainted. It is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if you can see, it's a shiny cover. It is floppy. It smells like which comics I used to read. So I'm not really new to the graphic novel comic sphere, but I only own before this, I owned, I think, 2 graphic novels, and so I really want to build my collection. So if you have any recommendations, let me know, and if you would like me to do a recommendation video, I would love to do that as well, because I've read quite a lot of books at this point, even though it was on ebooks. But this just is absolutely gorgeous. I'm probably going to show you some more of the art close-ups later, but I just know that this is sapphic. There's some kind of a mermaid love story, and that's all that I know about it. I absolutely adored the series called The Witch Boy by Molly, and it was so wonderful. I highly recommend it. And so this is her newest book that is sapphic and looks so beautiful. I literally adore this cover, and I love the art, and I'm in love with this already. So speaking of graphic novels, I actually got another one that I'm so excited for as well, but I do think I want to resist reading this one in here, but I do want to tell you about it anyways, because it's still super exciting and just, and that is Mooncakes by Wendy Sue and Suzanne Walker. So what I know about this book is that it's witchy and cozy and funny and fun and cute, and that I know that there is a non-binary main character, and that's all that I know about it. It just sounds wonderful. The art also is just gorgeous, and having graphic novels physically makes me so unbelievably happy. Yeah, I really would like to save this for either a weekend vlog or another readathon, but I'm so happy. I've been literally wanting to get this book for 2 years, but it was out of stock for ages, and then I just couldn't get it for a long time, and now it's mine, and I'm so happy. What I also didn't say is that, except for Mooncakes, all of these are new releases that are literally some of my most anticipated reads of the year. So this is seriously really the most exciting 24-hour readathon I've ever done. So yeah, so I have 2 more books, and those are novels. So the first one is Honey and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating by Adiba Jarkadar. Oh my god, I am so excited to have this. I love the cover so much, and I I don't know anything about this, only that it has fake dating in it and it's sapphic, and I absolutely loved The Henna Wars by Adiba. That was her first book, which was also sapphic, and I highly recommend. So both of them are YA contemporary. And the last book that I have here is another YA contemporary, and that is Jay's Gay Agenda by Jason June. I have this absolutely stunning, beautiful, I almost said paperback, but hardcover, and it's just so beautiful. I also don't really know much about this, but I guess that Jay has a gay agenda, and he, like, I know that he writes some kind of lists and things, and I know that this book is just really fun and uplifting and sex positive and just wonderful. And Jason has the loveliest energy. You should absolutely follow him on TikTok. You know what? I'm gonna link her TikTok down below. Super random, but you know, why not? I also have a theory that the person in the back here looks so much like Jason, and I'm like, is that meant to look like, you know, is that like intentional? So these are the books that I'm so beyond excited for, that I had to start the readathon earlier than I planned because I'm dying to read these books. So I am so ready to start these books. And yeah, so I am gonna put on the timer for 24 hours, and I'll always start it when I read and then stop it and then start it again. I hope that makes sense. And yeah, so I'm really curious to see how much I read when I actually like read for 24 hours. I just know this is gonna be a blast, so let's just get straight into the vlog. It is a while later, and it is time to put on the timer. I have my first book here. Like I said, I really want to start Starfish, and I also made a drink. It is just Sprite with grenadine. One of my biggest obsessions this year. I love it. I'm gonna start the timer, start the book. I'm so excited, so let's do this. Hi everyone, so it is time for a lot of updates. I don't know if this looks like cool and artsy and fun, or if it just looks terrible and distracting. One thing that I didn't say before, because like when I started this vlog, I didn't fully know I had that plan yet, is I really want to make this a summery, bright, joyful reading vlog, because the weather was really weird, but today it was really sunny, and yesterday it was sunny, so hopefully tomorrow and after tomorrow is going to be sunny as well. So the last book that I talked to you about was Starfish by Lisa Phipps. I got to page exactly 100. I'm enjoying it. I do think it's middle grade. I need to like check Goodreads or something to like make sure, but it does feel like it's middle grade. And so far I'm not fully in love with the writing style, but I don't dislike it. Our main character is dealing with a lot of bullying and fat phobia, and at her school there are some really terrible kids who say extremely hurtful things. If you're looking for a story without fat phobia, or you know, just like with a small amount of it, or just super focused on the uplifting aspects, this is probably not going to be it. So I do think that the second half is going to focus more on just like Ellie figuring out self-love. So I am really invested in Ellie and her journey, and I also do love that at the beginning of the story, Ellie meets this new girl in town, Catalina, and they hang out. I absolutely adore friendships in books, and so I love that so much. I'm excited to see where it goes. And yeah, and one more thing that I want to mention about this book is that one of the things that is also hard to read about is that Ellie's mom is absolutely terrible. Like, she is extremely toxic and extremely fat phobic. And so I also wanted to mention that so that, you know, as a warning. And Ellie's dad, on the other hand, is super supportive. I also didn't say that I haven't spent that much time reading yet. I'm at like 22 hours left, and so, you know, a lot of time, but I'm having a blast. I just was really busy today, and I didn't really have time to read much. But another book that I actually read today when I was out was Jay's Gay Agenda by Jason June. I said that as if I like read the whole thing, but I only started it, and I got to page 42, so not a lot at all, but I'm really enjoying it. I don't think I'm going to give you a more detailed synopsis just yet because I feel like I need to read a little bit more to be able to describe it properly. But what I can tell so far is that it's super fun. I love the voice. It's just the type of voice that is super light and just lighthearted and fun and like bright, and yeah, I'm just really, really excited to read this book. And last but by no means least, when I got home, I was like, what do I want to read next? Because I only took Jay's Gay Agenda with me, and like when I went outside, and I just, yes. And so what I ended up starting as well, because I'm just in the mood to, you know, read a lot of things at once. So I started The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. I am still absolutely not over how fucking beautiful this book is. Like, look at it in the sunlight. How beautiful is that? I can't even. I am already halfway through. I had to like hold myself back from keeping reading it. From just, you know, I had to hold myself back from continuing with reading this book because I was like, I have to update you, obviously. I mean, I wouldn't have to, but, you know, I was excited to talk to you about it. And I am loving it so much. Like, I knew I would, but it's just so beautiful and magical. And I can't get over how amazing this book smells. So Morgan is a lesbian, and she's living on this like tiny island where people are just really prejudiced and homophobic, and so she feels like she has to hide who she is. And a long time ago, she ran into this mermaid, or more like swam into this mermaid in like a lake, and they, you know, like had an interaction, and she thought that it was a dream, and now again she falls into the sea. Kelty saves her life, and so they have another interaction, and she's like, it was a dream, I hallucinated it, you know. And then Kelty walks over to in front of Morgan's house. She appears there, and, you know, they start talking, and it's just a story about them obviously falling in love, but also Morgan like learning to love herself and being true to who she is, because she just kind of wants to hide who she is. And it's just so beautiful, so magical. I absolutely adore the like art style of this book, and it's perfect for like a summer vlog, you know. Like, isn't it the best feeling when you expect to love a book and then you really love it as much as you wanted? So that's how I feel about this. And I'm just so like, yeah, so this is definitely something that I'm gonna be finishing after I talk to you right now. But I do think I'm also gonna finish Starfish really quickly, because all of these books are honestly such easy, beautiful reads that I'm just in love with, and I'm so excited. So I know. Honestly, I think it's gonna need to become a drinking game of like how often I say excited, because it's like it's a lot. But I am excited indeed. So I'm gonna go back to reading. I think I'm gonna take my books and my chocolate to the balcony because my cat Heidi is chilling there. And, you know, the sun is setting clearly, and I just feel like that's going to be an amazing vibe. So I'm obviously going to like shoot some clips of that. We also actually, I don't think I've mentioned it in a vlog, we installed like a net on the balcony so that my cats could roam freely without any risk of them, you know, like jumping somewhere or, you know, and so they love it. Heidi could live her entire life there, honestly. So yeah, I'm gonna go do that. I'm super excited. I swear I didn't do that on purpose. So yeah, I'll talk to you when I get some more reading done. Hold on to love, but it's frost and nice time. Much but a light from a falling sky. Apply to the forces above us like keep holding on to this present time. Inspired by the ones that were left behind us. We fell for the light of a foreign sky. Applying to the forces above this life. So much to the poltergeist. Trying to hold on to love, but it's frost and nice time. Much but a light from a falling sky. Apply to the forces above us like keep holding on to this present time. Inspired by the ones that were left behind us. We fell for the light of a foreign sky. Applying to the forces above this life. So much to the poltergeist. Trying to hold on to love, but it's frost and nice time. So much, but a light from a... It is a while later. We still have over 21 hours to go. And I finished 2 wonderful books, which is They're Falling, to Starfish and The Girl from the Sea. I went to the balcony like I told you. It was amazing and I really need to do it more. The sunset and the fresh air, like, I love it. If you have a balcony, a patio, a garden, or anything, and you can like go to that, then I really recommend you do that, because I almost never do, and this was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this again as soon as possible. So let's talk about the books. So like I said, one of the books I finished is Starfish, and I really liked this. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was a really impactful, powerful book that tackled so many important issues, and like I said, this deals a lot with bullying and fat phobia, so seriously a big warning for that. What I absolutely loved is that Ellie went to therapy, and that was like a really big part of this book, and I just absolutely loved seeing that. I think it's super important to see in like every book, but you know, middle grade is just so important to see that. There was like empowerment and self-love and Ellie learning to stand up for herself and just working towards a better life. All of that was wonderful to see, and it was definitely like a way bigger part of the book in the second half, but honestly, from the beginning to almost the end, there were a lot of heavy things that were difficult to read about. So while this is a really like uplifting book in the end, there are a lot of painful steps along the way. And also, if you have any recommendations for books written in verse, please let me know. And then I read and finished The Girl from the Sea by Molly Knox Ostertag. I absolutely adored this. I loved it so much I can't even put it into words. I literally inhaled this book. Like, granted, I do that with most books, yes. But I just did not want to look away. I barely took like a break to breathe. It was absolutely incredible. I even had like a slight book hangover after this, and I wanted to mention I filmed a shot of watching one of my best friend's videos, Nemo from Finding Nemo. She has been doing like reaction videos to movies and shows, and she reacted, the thing that I watched was reacting to Luca, and it was super cute. So I'm gonna have that video linked down below. You should follow her, I mean subscribe, you know, yes. I'm just speechless about this book. The art, breathtaking. The main characters, loved them. The love story, so beautiful, and it was just so touching and incredible and sweet, and there were like, I just loved it so much. I just please read it. I do think that like soon I really need to pick up an ebook or an audiobook because like while I'm absolutely thriving and living for finally reading physical books, I don't want to burn myself out and, you know, like exhaust myself with the physical reading. But the one physical book that I really think I want to finally read is A Crown of Wishes by Roshni Chokshi. I just think I'm gonna love this. I don't know much about it. Just that there's some kind of like a royal romance in here. And one more thing that I'm gonna say before I leave and read is I was snacking on some chocolate and I have to mention this chocolate. So this is from Lindt. It is divine. And it kind of like, since it's kind of hot outside, it kept melting and I hated that. And so I keep putting it in the fridge since I started eating it. And you need to like, if I don't know if like people do that or, you know, but just put the chocolate in the fridge because it makes it taste like 1,000 times better. Maybe it's just me, but just there's something about it that makes it hit even harder, and I just live for it. Good morning, everyone. So I look kind of rough, my hair looks tragic, and yes, I'm wearing this hoodie again. I just finally found a hoodie that is comfortable and a great material and not too tight. I have been wanting to find one for a million years, so yes, I'm gonna be wearing it all the time. I'm sure a lot of you can relate. So I was not going to do an update right now, but something that I was hoping would happen just happened. And I got 2 packages of books. I don't know what they are. I think I'm gonna open this first. So let's see. I also do have some reading updates. Well, one technically. So we're gonna get to that after the package. What do we have here? Whoa, 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 whoa. So this is a historical romance, like I thought, and it's called Falling into Bed with a Duke by Lorraine Heath, and I'm confused because I did not remember this book. If you have ever seen any of my like unboxings, you know that I almost always forget a lot of the books, and with Book Depository, I made 2 orders and it takes it a long time to arrive, and it just arrives in like small packages, and so that gives me even more room to forget. But I literally don't remember this one at all. And I'm super excited because recently I fell in love with Lorraine Heath and I want to collect all of her books. And so this is super exciting. So need to check again what like book it is exactly, like from what series, because historical romance authors always have so many and it's the coolest thing ever. It's the best if you want to like read a lot of books by the author, you know? So let's find out what this one is. I literally don't have a clue. Oh my god. Oh my god, this is one of the books that I thought of. I was like, I would love to get it so that I can read it as soon as possible, maybe even in this vlog, but I didn't think it would be this. So that is Like a Love Song by Gabriela Martins, and I have been anticipating this so much, and just like this is again one of the books that is a new release that I'm absolutely dying to read, and it's so beautiful. I absolutely love it. It's this super floppy copy, which, you know, I'm in heaven. Oh my god, I really think that I might read it in this vlog. So I don't really know anything about it besides that the main character is she's a Brazilian pop star, and she gets dumped and then she has to fake date, and I know that one of the main characters is bisexual, and that is all that I know. Will I drop everything and read this? We'll see. Very possible. So yeah, the one update that I started a new book. So like I said, I wanted an ebook or an audiobook, something that would be easier on my brain. So I started Liquor and Laundry by Tasha L. Harrison, I think is the author's name. and I am loving it. So I got to like 21%. I completely flew through the beginning. It is a novella because, again, I just wanted something easy, quick, super fun, and I wanted an adult romance, and so I picked this up. I know that Mina from Mina Reads loved this book, and someone else read it recently as well. But it's just the kind of thing where you meet the characters, they have an interaction, and you're like, the chemistry is delicious, and it's just so fun, and that is exactly what I wanted. And so it's kind of like a sports romance. The hero is, I forgot what he does exactly, but something, a sport. The two of them knew each other when they were younger, and they kind of like hooked up once, and the heroine had a crush on him for a long time, and she thought that he didn't reciprocate and everything, and so they hooked up once, but it just was kind of like, yeah, like nothing's gonna come out of this. We were just drunk and, like made a mistake, and now they see each other again, and both of them are like, why did you never call me? And they have so much chemistry, and obviously everything goes from there. I don't think I'm going to say more because, again, it's a novella, and it's just a blast, honestly. So it's exactly what I wanted. So I'm really happy about that. It's also on Kindle Unlimited, so if you have that, definitely check it out. And yes, it is sunny again, and I'm thinking if I should like pick up another sunny book, like sun themed. I also want an audiobook. Oh my gosh, I picked an audiobook that I haven't started. So I think the name is One Hot Italian Summer by Karina Holly. If I said that wrong, I'm sorry. And so I have this on Scribd as an audiobook. And again, I wanted an audiobook. It is going to take me like 4 hours on the speed that I listen to, but I thought, that's not bad. I have at least 20 hours still. And like, again, I think that my brain needs an audiobook because like that is just the easiest for me. And so this is perfect for a summer vlog, first of all. Second of all, I've been waiting to read it for a long time because I've heard amazing things about it. Third of all, I'm pretty sure this is a sports romance and a single father romance, which is something that I'm just a sucker for. I love it so much. So that's all that I know, and I'm super excited to dive in. So I think I'm going to do that later today, but we'll see what I end up doing. But all these books that I'm reading are so fucking exciting, and I'm just really happy. So I am going to go read. So it's finally time for some updates. I have finished 2 things and started another, so let's talk about it. I finished Liquor and Laundry, which was just amazing. I feel like I told you everything already, but it was just so quick to read. Loved the 2 main characters. They had such a wonderful connection and chemistry, and it was really steamy and fun, but also sweet and tender. And like near the end, there was literally a moment when I kind of teared up just because I was like, so like touched. So I loved it, and I highly recommend it. It's also really short. It's like 155 pages, so you should definitely check it out. I just love romance novellas, and this was such a great one. And speaking of romance novellas, actually, I decided to pick a book that I haven't told you about that I started a few days ago, and I decided that it was a smart thing to finish it before starting my hot Italian summer, if that's the title. And so that was My Dad's Best Friend by Katie Roberts. So I had this on audio, so again, I was like, I might as well finish it before starting something new. And I kind of had like mediocre feelings about this book. It's one of the books in Katie's Touch of Taboo series that are just like taboo, steamy romance novellas. And so this one was clearly, the title says it all, about a woman and her dad's best friend. And so she had a crush on him for a long time, and he rejected her a long time ago. And now she kind of finds herself in his house, and she gets stuck there. Now, I'm not sure if it was like a storm or something. I don't really remember, but she just has to spend like 2 days at his house, and so there's forced proximity, which I love. I just didn't really vibe with the hero in this book. He was really grumpy and like in ways that just didn't work for me. Yeah, didn't love this one, but it was still a quick read, and I'm definitely gonna read some of the other books in this series. Then I have been reading Like a Love Song by Gabriela Martins. You know, for a moment I was like, maybe I shouldn't start it. Maybe I should finish something that I already talked to you about first, but it was just calling my name, and so I was like, fuck it. This is all about having fun, and I was dying to read this. And so I started it, and I'm already halfway through the book. So this book is an absolute blast so far. I am flying through it and absolutely loving it. So I kind of feel like I mainly said the whole synopsis, but it is about Natalia and William, which I like. William is one of my all-time favorite names ever, and I feel like it's such a basic name, you know? Like, we all know the name and like, you know, but I feel like I have barely ever seen it in books. The two of them have to fake date because Natalia, like I said, she gets dumped very publicly, kind of becomes a meme, and so to like save her image, she fake dates William. And Will has kind of like different reasons why he needs to do it. Something that I realized while I was reading this book is that a part of the plot kind of is giving me Red, White, and Royal Blue vibes, in the sense that in Red, White, and Royal Blue, there is the aspect that the two main characters have to fake a friendship because of something that happens publicly, like a scandal. And so in this book, the like scandal doesn't happen between the two main characters, but it's just kind of like to save like their individual, like, you know, images. And so they have to like in the public eye pretend that they're dating, and they kind of like don't really know each other that well, and they become closer, they become friends, and it grows into more. And so that aspect I feel like has a similar vibe. So if you like that, definitely check this book out. I don't want to stop reading, and I'm just so invested, and it's so like it's really lighthearted, but it also deals with some important things as well. And yeah, I'm so excited to keep reading this book.
So much to the poltergeist, trying to hold on to love, but it's frosting nice time. Much but a light from a falling sky, apply to the forces above us, like keep holding on to this present time, inspired by the ones that were left behind us. We fell for the light of a falling sky.
Hi everyone, so it's time for quite a lot of updates. Also, I hope this lighting is okay. The sun is almost set, and you know, I have so many updates, and I'm also wearing this hoodie again. Yes, I was just not having a good mental health day, and I've read quite a lot since I last talked to you, because again, I wasn't feeling the best, and I'm trying to learn to listen to just like my body, my mental health, everything better than I used to, and just try, you know, like not to film when I just feel like I don't have the energy, or you know, that kind of stuff. And also, before I forget it, we talk about the books, something horrible happened. It's not actually that horrible, but it's like, it's a little bit annoying. You know how I had the timer on my laptop for 24 hours? My laptop just like restarted or something, and it reset the time. And luckily I knew how much time was on it. It was like 11 hours, 7 minutes. So we still have almost halfway to go. And the reason why I feel like I've read so much is because I haven't really read novels that much yet. But yeah, so we have 11 hours. I just set it for 11 hours now, you know, based on like the minutes or whatever. There's a lot of exciting stuff, so let's get into it. So I finished Like a Love Song by Gabriella Martins. I basically read this in one sitting. The only time that I stopped reading this was when I gave you the update, and I literally inhaled this book and I absolutely adored it. It was such a quick read and it was so fun, and I was so invested in the romance and the main characters' like personal individual journeys, and it was just so lighthearted, but at the same time it had some important messages, and it was so cute and sweet and wonderful, and I just absolutely loved it. Definitely one of my new favorite YA contemporary romances. It is just so good, and I don't even know how to talk about this book because I love it so much. It's absolutely 5 stars. And yeah, so there's a pop star actor pairing, a bisexual cinnamon roll hero, and a wonderful strong heroine who has a lot of stuff that she needs to learn and like figure out how to be true to herself without like having to change herself. And I literally read the book in one sitting on the day that it arrived in the mail. I think that says everything. So please pick it up. So then I don't think I talked to you about All Along You Were Blooming by Morgan Harper Nichols. So this is a poetry collection, and I once again wanted to listen to an audiobook. I just kind of ran into this, and I've been trying to read more poetry again because I love poetry. I write poetry, but I just feel like the past 2 years it's kind of fallen like back on the back burner, and I haven't really read it a lot. And this, I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. It could be like 3.5. A lot of the stuff written in this book resonated with me. I didn't like fully love the writing style. It's honestly, I feel like about every single poetry book I say the same stuff. So if you ever heard me talk about it, I usually have pretty mediocre feelings about poetry, which sounds like I don't like it. It's just that like modern poetry doesn't always work for me, but like 3.5 stars is good. Like I actually like enjoy it. I appreciate the lines that resonate with me, that mean something to me. Even when there's like, even if there's like 5 lines that really hit me hard, I feel like that still makes it worth reading to me. And then again, I was not having a good day. I was feeling really anxious, and I was like, I need something comforting. I need to feel better somehow. I just needed a book that would be easy and comforting, like I said. And so shout out to one of my amazing friends for suggesting The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang, because I flew through this. I loved it. It's a graphic novel, and it is definitely really comforting and so wonderful. It is about a prince and his dressmaker. And so this prince basically hires this dressmaker and because he wants her to make him dresses. It was so wonderful and empowering. I really liked the art. It's not like fully my style, but I still really enjoyed it, and it was just such a nice story that had some really wonderful messages in it. And then, speaking of graphic novels, I flew through the entire mini like series, or whatever I should call it, of the Tea Dragon Society by Kate O'Neill. So there are 3 volumes. All of them are under 100 pages. Absolutely adored them. Like I think the second one was my least favorite, but it was still absolutely incredible. And just this whole series, it's also on Kindle Unlimited. That's why I could finally read it, because it's been on my radar for so long. But I didn't read it for a while because it was quite expensive, and I was like, it's short, and I just felt like it was exactly what I needed. It was just so beautiful. And again, like this was even more comforting than The Prince and the Dressmaker, because I feel like in The Prince and the Dressmaker there are some like painful moments. It's generally really like light-hearted and again empowering and great. But in the Tea Dragon Society, the entire time pretty much, it's just pure comfort. Like that is the one word. I know I've said it a lot of times now, but that is the one word that like sums it up perfectly. Like even when you look at the cover, I feel like the whole aesthetic, the like colors, all of it is just pure comfort. There's like found family and dragons, and it's middle grade as well, so that just adds to the comfort, and it's just the sweetest thing ever. And just please, you all need to read it. There's so much diversity in it as well, in like pretty much every single way, and it's just beautiful. And I adored it, and I'm so happy that I finally could read it. So we're getting to the last book that I finished that I actually did mention to you, but I haven't really updated you on, so I'm sorry about that. But that is One Hot Italian Summer by Karina Holly. And I gave this like 4 stars. It could be like four. Honestly, I think it's like 4.25 or something like that. I usually don't do that, but sometimes it works for me. So I just really enjoyed this and I had such a great time with it. I don't actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I fully described the plot correctly, so I'm going to do that really quickly. I feel like this update has been so long, but it's fine. So I think I said that it's a sports romance or something, so that is not the case. So the heroine in this book is a writer, and recently her like co-writing partner friend passed away, and so she has to deal with that loss and grief. And at the same time, she needs to figure out what to do next with her career, and so her agent sends her to this place in Italy where her like ex-husband normally lives, but he's supposed to be away, and guess what, he is not indeed away. And so he runs into her on the first day and things go on from there. So it is forced proximity. They live in the same house. It is also, I think I said that it's a single father romance, which I always adore. And I also absolutely love writer main characters, if you didn't know. So at this point, I think I have enough for a recommendation video. So if anyone is interested, please let me know. And so this was just so like swoon worthy and sweet and steamy, and it had the perfect summer vibes. Like if you want to read some summer books that are just filled with warmth and sunshine in every way, you absolutely have to check this book out. And I'm so happy that I read it. It's perfect for this vlog, and I feel like I haven't read a lot or any at all like summer romances, and this made me want to read more before the summer is over. So I loved this, highly recommend it, and I'm definitely gonna read more Karina Holly's books. That's finally my updates for now. And it's quite late today. It's 8 p.m. I've been super busy, unfortunately. So I don't know if I should read a little bit more today and then just go hard tomorrow. So I need to figure out what I want to read the most. And when I figure that out, I'm gonna update you.
Flying to the forces above this life.
I still have 7 hours and 19 minutes to go. And like, I was not prepared for how much 24 hours is. I was going to finish this whole thing today, but I don't know if I can. Because like, it's 1 p.m. and with like 7 hours, it would go to 8 p.m. without interruption, you know? And like, I can't spend all of that time like reading without a second of a break. But I don't know. Like, I go to bed late, so it could happen, but if not, I'm hopefully gonna finish it tomorrow morning, but it's fine. I have some things to update you on, so let's talk about those. So let's start with physical reading that I've been doing a little bit. And that is, I have made some progress with Jay's Gay Agenda by Jason June. I got to page 144. So I'm getting close to the middle of the book, and I like it. I don't know exactly what I told you, but it is about Jay, who has this list called Jay's Gay Agenda of him just basically like exploring his identity and like relationships and just, you know, having his first kiss and everything, date and everything, and also that he wants to meet more queer people because he lives in this like small conservative town where he doesn't know anyone else who would be gay or queer in any way. And so his mom has to move to Seattle because of her job, and so they expect him to just be, you know, really sad because he has a best friend that he will have to leave and everything, but he's actually super excited that there's a chance that he's actually going to finally meet queer people. And so at this new school, he does indeed meet more queer people, and he goes to this like classic like straight queer alliance. something like that. He makes a friend, and there's this guy that he also just, is like attracted to and has a crush on and everything, and things go on from there. So I really like this. I feel like it's just super fun and lighthearted. And if you want a YA that like is about queerness a lot and like explores it, but isn't about anything like dramatic and coming out and everything, then I think you're really gonna like this. And then I have been reading two more books as well that are both on audio because I, have been like trying to read physical books in this vlog, and I have read physical books, and I just don't want to burn myself out, first of all. Second of all, 24 hours is a really long time, and I feel like it would just make it more exhausting if I only read physical books now. And so I started 1,000 Questions by Sadia Faruqi, which is a middle grade book. And, I want like some variety of books that I read in here, and I just have had this saved on script for a long time, and I love middle grade. And this book is about two girls, Mimi and Sakina, and Mimi is Pakistani American, and Sakina is Pakistani and lives in Pakistan, and Mimi basically ends up going on this like trip to Pakistan with her mom, and it's a lot about the friendship between the two girls, which I absolutely love. Like, I love female friendships, and I just have never, or I don't remember ever reading a book that like is only mainly about a friendship, and I feel like that's just really beautiful and special, and I love that. Like, I am a sucker for romance, but I also absolutely love any like other relationships as well. And this book explores such a wide range of topics. It explores class difference a lot, and like poverty and everything around that. Because Mimi is really rich, and on the other hand, Sakina is really poor, and she works as a servant for Mimi's like relatives. And so it explores that a lot. And it also explores like the difference between someone being from the diaspora and someone being like in the country itself. And it also explores like different family dynamics. It's so beautiful. I love middle grade, and my absolute favorite kind is like hard-hitting contemporary middle grades. And this is exactly that, and I'm just absolutely loving it. I love the two main characters, and it's just perfect. Honestly, it's just so good, and I need more people to read it. I am at like 60%. I think that this book is the first thing that I'm gonna finish today. That's one book, and the last one that I've been reading is A Curse of Roses by Diana Pingicha, and this one is a young adult fantasy, and this is inspired by a Portuguese legend, so it's a retelling, and I really like it. I'm at like 30-ish%. It is about these two girls, and it's sapphic, and our main character is a princess who basically turns everything into flowers. And so she literally like can't eat, because when she like takes a bite of food, it turns into a flower. And the only person who can help her break the curse is, of course, our other main character, who is an enchanted Mura. I just, again, I wanted to read some of the like physical books that I have, like fantasy books, and I just felt like it intimidates me for no reason, but I just thought that it would be better to listen to this audiobook because I've had it for quite a while, and I just, was super excited to read it, and so I can read this audiobook, which makes it easier for me to read, and then it will get me excited to read the physical books that I have that are fantasy. And it is definitely working. This book is so magical and beautiful, and it's about like magic and learning to accept who you are and your power, and choosing between duty and love, and it's just, I love it already. I'm probably gonna eat lunch and just maybe like, chill for a bit, and then I'm gonna dive into reading, and I'm super excited to share it with you, so I'll see you later.
Crying so much to the poltergeist. Trying to hold on to love, but it's frost and nice time. Much but a light from a falling sky. Apply to the forces above us like keep holding on to this present time. Inspired by the ones that were left behind us. We fell for the light of a...
So we now have 2 hours and 40 minutes to go, and I have officially finished all the books that I told you about earlier today. So I finished 1,000 questions. Absolutely loved it. I don't really think I have anything new to say. I feel like I've already said pretty much everything that I wanted to. But I give it 5 stars without a question. It was just such a powerful story that was both like heartbreaking and heartwarming. And I just loved it so much. And it once again reminded me of why I love middle grade, because just the way that it is hopeful and beautiful, and like even when it deals with something so painful, it just wraps your heart in a hug, and I love it so much. So highly recommend you pick it up, and I highly encourage all of you to try out just at least one middle grade book, cause like it's honestly just, I love it so much. Then the next book that I finished was Jay's Gay Agenda by Jason June. I am so happy that I read this. So, as I was reading it, I liked it, but I wasn't like in love with it, and I wasn't sure if I would love it as much as I thought. And there are just some things in the plot that really frustrate me. Jay definitely makes a lot of mistakes, and it is really frustrating. There are times when, like he is planning on doing something and you just know that it's the worst idea ever. But as I was reading it, first of all, it came together in the end so beautifully. I feel like it was done so well. And obviously the fact that things get messy and that Jay and the other characters make mistakes is realistic, and it is something that is a part of, like not just being young, honestly, just like any age. But I just loved how uplifting and positive this book was, and just how joyful it was, and the romance was so fucking cute, and I was reading for Jay so much. I loved the side characters. There are a lot of complex like relationships in here, like especially just like friendships and multiple of them, and it just was wonderful. I loved it so much. Highly recommend this one, and I can't wait to read any other books that Jason writes in the future. And then the last book that I finished was obviously A Curse of Roses. I loved this one as well. Like I don't know, for Jay's Gay Agenda, I had really high expectations. For this one, I just kind of had the vibes of like, I'm really gonna like this, but it's probably not gonna be a favorite. And it's just a vibe. There's no like reasoning to it. It's just like I always have that vibe with books. I loved it so much. The first half, I had that vibe of like, I'm enjoying this. I'm not like in love, but it's nice. Kind of similar to Jay's Gay Agenda, but then as the story went on, I just fell in love more and more, and it was just such a beautiful, magical story. And the romance is so tender and beautiful, and it's slow burn, and it's basically like a forbidden romance because the princess has to marry this, like prince, king. Overall, this was just such a beautiful story. I also just love how like fairy tale retellings often have this like beautiful atmosphere and vibe, and just the way of storytelling is just so like magical, and I'm so here for it. So I loved this. I highly recommend it if you want a standalone sapphic fantasy with a wonderful romance. You need to check this one out. So yes, I now have 2 hours and 40 minutes. The only book that I mentioned at the beginning of this video that I didn't read yet, outside of like Mooncakes that I wasn't really planning on reading, is Honey and Issue's Guide to Fake Dating. However, I think that I do think that there is a chance that I could read this in 2 hours and 40 minutes, but I'm not really sure. I don't want to rush it. I was kind of thinking that I want to save it for another reading vlog, and it's also like late at night, and I kind of want an ebook that I can read in bed or whatever. So I think I'm gonna save this for another time, but don't worry, I think I'm gonna read it super soon in a different reading vlog, so stay tuned for that. I'm super excited for it. So I'm gonna talk to you later.
Flying to the forces above this life. Been crying so much to the poltergeist. Trying to hold on to love, but it's frosting nice time. So much, but alive.
So we have officially made it to the end of this whole experiment, And I read one more book, and I did have a little bit of time to spare, but I just feel like I have read so much in this video and it's so long that, I didn't want to like push myself to read another short thing. But the book that I read was Back in the Texan's Bed by Naima Simone. I was just like trying to find a book that wasn't like too short but not too long either. So this was kind of like around 200 pages, so exactly perfect for, what I wanted, and it was so good. It was even better than I expected once again. So we have a second chance romance, and our heroine basically got pregnant with the hero's kid, and he's now 3 years old, and she never told the hero about him because she thought that he wanted nothing to do with the kid and that he didn't want her to have the kid at all. But then we find out really quickly that he never sent that letter. He never actually wanted that. He never knew that she was pregnant. And so they end up making a deal that they will basically live together for a while. I love single parent romances. I love second chance romances. And Naima Simone is such a wonderful author. I've read a few books by her, and she writes such like emotional, angsty, and steamy books, and it was just so much fun. I flew through the book and I read it so quickly, and I highly recommend it. So that is going to be it. I am so proud of myself for reading 4 physical books. I think those are all the books, right? Cause I have been struggling with physical reading, and this honestly like really reignited my love for physical reading, and I love that for me. And just every single book that I read in this vlog I adored, and it's probably my favorite reading vlog I've ever done. So I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's gonna be super long, so thank you so much if you made it this far, and if you did, leave a ocean water emoji down below. And thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos, and have a great day. I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!